Okay, so, I would love to give my testimony so I can let people know what life is like when you surrender to God. Let me kind of give you my childhood. So let's go back to the childhood. So my mother thankfully took us to church every Sunday, Wednesday night. I mean, I don't know, we were there all the time. I'm not really sure, but we were there a lot. I do remember going to church a lot. Now, what I didn't care for was how people treated one another. I didn't understand why they spoke about one another. Like, why is this woman wearing that? Why is she married to her? You know, there was just a lot of issues that I saw people just talking about one another and looking down at one another. And, you know, if you didn't put enough money in the offering, it was just weird. I didn't like it at all. I pretty much tapped out at a young age of church. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'm thankful I went, and I'm thankful that my mother took me there. I just have some memories that just turned me off, quite honestly. My buddy and I, and she knows who she is. Her and I would sneak out all the time and go out and just go on the stairs and leave, go to the bathroom, and like never come back. Her and I got in trouble all the time. Yeah. Hi, buddy. Yeah. That was my early childhood friend that, that her and I had a great time. We had a great time at church. We just she might have, I didn't learn anything. I didn't understand God, Jesus, Holy Spirit. That's an understatement. I mean, literally an understatement, because I'm going to tell you something kind of funny. Up until a year ago, I believed that if you killed a fly, God would be mad because he created it. I mean, that's how little I absorbed in church, which is nothing at all, other than a bunch of people around me talking about people. And I was like, this is not it. So I just kind of said, I'll just be nice to people and just try to be a nice person. And I learned those morals. So don't get me wrong. I'm thankful that she took me there, but, I tapped out of that. I was like, this is not what I'm doing. So now fast forward, raising children, amazing, wonderful. The closest feeling I could tell you how I felt after the Holy Spirit came upon me, and I'll tell you about that, and God and Jesus and everything, is raising children. So we raised children, worked really hard. We thought that was success, was, working really hard and having a big house and taking the kids on vacation and just living the life of the next vacation, the next vacation, the next vacation. I also thought success was, starting businesses, and then we sold some, and then worked hard and bought businesses or fixed businesses and whatever. We did all kinds of stuff with businesses, and every business venture, I was like, oh yeah, when this one happens, we're gonna be so happy. Yeah, no, we did that, and no, not really. It was just a lot of work. And then we would do another one, and oh yeah, this is gonna be happiness right here. This is gonna be happiness. So then what we started doing, or myself, on the days that we were off, after the girls got a little older and done raising kids, they were like in high school and stuff. Not that that's an excuse, but that's just what happened with me. So after I wasn't raising children all the time, every day we had off, I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get some beer. Yeah, let's get some beer, some wine. And then that would turn into, hey, let's cook out on Sunday. And then Sundays became our, oh my gosh, Sundays. So we'd cook out, we'd drink, have a great time. So I associated having fun with alcohol. Well, 14 years of that turns into every single day I'm drinking alcohol. So let's just make that real clear. So beer twice a week, every Sunday and every Thursday. We'll get into more of the beer conversation here soon. But I wanted to give you a history of what happened and built us up to drinking every single day. So basically, drinking was just an everyday part of our lives. It's just what I did. I just drank every single day. Enjoyed it. Couldn't wait till 2:00 in the afternoon or whatever time I got off work so I can have alcohol and relax, because that was the only time I was really, truly relaxed, was when I was drinking alcohol. So about 5-6 years ago, my husband and I decided to make some big changes in our lives. So we decided to just sell everything, sell the businesses, sell the house, sell everything, and start a farm. And I remember telling him, going, we're gonna be at the farm, self-employed, we don't have to drive anywhere, we're gonna have to set some boundaries on alcohol, because we're going to be able to drink anytime we want. That could be dangerous. So that's definitely an alcoholic talking, because I was just like, hey, it's probably not a good thing that we can drink anytime we want. So let's just say that we're just not going to drink until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's what we told ourselves. Total lie, but that's what we told ourselves. So fast forward to the farm. So now we're at the farm. Thank goodness we're at the farm. I'm so thankful for it. But let me tell you, 4 years of so much work. So much work. So let me back up why we got the farm. So yeah, when we get to the farm, oh my gosh, we're not going to deal with this person, this issue, that person, whatever. We're not going to have to do this. We're not going to do that. That's going to be happiness right there. I mean, we're going to be at a farm. We're going to be raising our own food. We're going to be, growing our own food, doing all this cool stuff. We should be, homesteaders, make our own cheese, make our own, oh my gosh, delusional is what I was, delusional. So, oh yeah, we can put in, grow our own loofah, make our own soap, make our own this, make our own that. Well, I made a lot of wine. That's what I did make. Now that was a priority. I made a lot of wine, muscadines. I mean, you guys, like 40 gallons of wine. And let me tell you about the alcohol. This is a big part of the story because it's crazy what happened. So the alcohol, I would make my own alcohol, okay? Made a lot of wine. And I watered it down with a sugar-free grape water so I could drink more. It wasn't so it would taste different. It was so I could water it down so I could drink more, period. That's all there is to it. And that's what I did. So, all right, so let's go ahead and stay focused, Tanya. So you guys know how much alcohol I drank. Every Thursday, which we renamed Slurs Day because it was so important to me, and every Sunday we drank alcohol, period. That's just what I did. It's what I did every single day of my life. So now, my buddy Karen, I'm gonna have to go off on a tangent real quick about Karen. You guys will get to meet my buddy Karen. Wow. So, early on when we started the farm, Karen would start coming to the farm and working and helping us, and it was wonderful, and I liked her, but I was like, oof, I really like her, but man, that music, that music, I can't listen to that music. I just can't. She'd listen to, music that I love now. That's funny, G. You funny. Oh, by the way, okay, I'll go into this too, but I call him G. So found God, call him G. It's like my buddy G, my buddy K, my buddy G. But anyways, back to the story about Karen. So Karen started coming to the farm, helping us at the farm. Amazing, love her. She's amazing. And then life happened, COVID happened, different things happened, and we changed things up at the farm, trying again to make things streamline it, make it a little easier. That didn't work, but that's what we tried. So fast forward now to about a year and a half ago. I'm at the farmer's market, and Karen's like, hey, I hear you guys need some help. I'm like, yeah, yes, we need help. Yes, we've streamlined it. We're doing things differently, but still need a lot of help. We're a hot mess up in that farm. Literally working 80 hours a week, and it could be more than that. I'm not even sure. It was like work, drink, work, drink, work, take a nap, get up, work, drink, and it was painful. I mean, painful. The operation is huge. The overhead's huge. It was extremely stressful. Always having to crunch numbers. Where are we getting our orders? How are we getting there? It was just insane. That's the best way I can describe it. Farm's beautiful, looks beautiful. Customers love us. It's wonderful. The sheer volume of work to pull this place off was crazy. So again, thinking, oh, when we get that farm, when we start growing our own food, everything's going to be wonderful. We're going to be happy. Wrong. Stressed out like nobody's business. I was at the end of my rope. I was done. I was pretty much getting done. I was very resentful of my husband. I was just resentful that we're here, that I'm killing myself. We're barely keeping it together, barely pulling this farm off. I mean, barely. It took everything we had to barely keep it going. I mean, rough. Insane amount of work. So let's get that out there. So then my buddy says, I love you, Karen. Oh, you guys will get to meet her. Don't worry. There's going to be tons of stories about Karen, but you guys are going to get to meet her. Okay, so out of the blue, well, I thought it was out of the blue, but it wasn't. Very intentional. Karen says, I am going to start coming to the property early in the morning. I'll be there at 4:30. And I'm like, great, because I need all the help I could get. So that would be wonderful. I could use all the help I could get. So Karen started coming to the farm at 4:30 in the morning. And we were here in this kitchen right here, talking about the day, talking about what we had to do. And about 3 or 4 days later, talking to my husband, I'm like, hey babe. He's like, yeah. I'm like, this is weird. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm starting to believe in God again. Like, this is weird. Like, I stopped believing in God because I just believed in, Mother Nature, be a good person, just be nice to people, I don't know. I'm not sure what I believed in, but it wasn't God, because, I don't know. It just wasn't. I don't know. I just stopped believing in God. So I just be a good person. Just be a good person. So, we talked about that, and I'm like, this is just weird. Weird. I don't even understand this whole thing, but I'm starting to believe in God again. So Karen comes over that next day and a few days later, and I'm like, Karen, this is weird. I'm starting to believe in God again. Yeah. She looks at me. I don't even remember what happened. I don't even remember what we were doing and talking about, but we were just talking about it. I was just talking about this probably right here, part of our upbringing and stuff. So now let's go ahead and fast forward to the end of July 2023, a Monday morning. So this is what happened. It was that simple. This is when my life changed, just like that, you guys. I'm done. I can't work any harder. I could drink more, but I couldn't work any harder. So, all right, so Monday morning comes. We're working. I'm at what we call the small house right here. It's like our commercial kitchen. I'm at the small house at the farm working. Karen is at the other house working with the staff, thankfully. That's where she was, that's where I was, just to give you a visual. So I'm over here in the morning, and I'm just by myself. And thankfully, she's over there, taking care of everything. So I'm over here, and I was like, I was at the 3-compartment sink. I was like, God, I think I'm going to try this whole God, Jesus thing, whatever that is, because I've seen those billboards on the interstate. That's a joke. What does it even mean, Jesus? Whatever. I don't even know what that means. I mean, we live on a street name that I was like, oh, that's a little too, religious for me, but whatever. Whatever. Okay. So, it was just weird that we're plopped right on a religious street name. And I'm starting to believe in God again. And it's just weird. It's just weird. I couldn't explain it. So back to that Monday morning, I was like, God, Jesus, whatever this whole thing is, I thought I got to determine, dictate, control how this whole thing was going to play out, right? Because I'm a control freak. I think everything revolves around me. I got to be in charge of everything and everyone. And it was terrible, but that's how I was. So I was like, God, whatever. I'm going to try this whole God thing, whatever it even is. Can I drink? As long as I can drink. Actually, is what I said. As long as I can drink. Power of God came over me, and I was like, ooh, I feel better. This is interesting. I can't explain it, but this is interesting. And then God says to me, yes, you can drink. We'll deal with that later. I'm like, score! I have God and alcohol. Yeah, let's do this. This is amazing. I like this. So I walk over there and tell Karen, I'm like, hey, Karen. She's like, what? I'm like, I just told God I'm going to try this whole God thing, whatever that is. And I asked him if I can drink, or told him probably, hey, I'll do this as long as I can drink. And he said, yeah, we'll deal with that later. She's like, oh, okay. That's it. And I'm like, cool. And then I come back over here, do whatever I'm doing. And then my husband starts speaking because I felt great. And then he starts speaking. I'm like, well, that blew it. I felt great until you started talking. I was like, oh man, that gone. I was just like, all in about myself. And that's a whole nother long story. I'll explain all those stories later. But I was like, well, everything was wonderful until my husband started talking, and then just kind of ruined it for me. So I go tell Karen that. I'm like, hey, I feel great. Feel wonderful. But then, you guys might as well know my husband's name is Walter. I go there, I'm like, but Walter spoke to me and ruined it. She goes, zip it. I'm like, hey, now, I've learned the facial expressions, and when she's serious, I gotta pay attention. But at the day, I didn't understand what was going on. She goes, zip it. I was like, Hey, what do you mean, zip it? He's the problem. She goes, zip it. This is not about him. This is about you. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then fine. What do I do? She's like, if you have nothing nice to say, or just don't speak. I'm like, so if I have nothing nice to say, or any, because of course it's going to be a thought before it comes out of my mouth. So then it's a nice thought. So if I have nothing nice to say, don't speak to him. She's like, zip it. I'm like, okay. Well, you guys, it was about a solid week. And I'll tell you that story here in a few minutes. But that was a solid week before I really said anything. First week, I mean, I was like, every time I went to go speak to him, I was like, well, that wasn't nice. Well, that wasn't nice. Well, that wasn't nice either. And I did ask God all the time. I'm like, you're gonna have to help me, because like this is new to me. You're gonna have to help me. You're gonna have to help me, because Karen said, don't say anything if it's mean. And I thought, I didn't know how mean I was. I just thought it was normal. It was just a normal part of my day, be aggravated and irritated and annoyed, or set him up to be aggravated. I mean, it was terrible, you guys. I'll tell you about that story here in a little bit, but it was just terrible. So anyways, long and short of it, the first week, all I said to him was, honey, I'm going through some things and I'm not going to speak much. I mean, because what do you say? How's the weather? We're at a farm. We know what the weather is. We're going to pay attention. So can't talk about that. I mean, it was just craziness. So I really didn't say anything, but I just knew that I felt better. That pressure of the world started coming off of me. The power of God, so unbelievable, amazing, that my life changed in a millisecond. And now what I'm realizing, like, he takes me, you, anybody, exactly where you are, whatever your circumstance is, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Nothing. You and your heart. And that's it. He just wants you. And what he does with a life, you cannot describe it. It's an amazing feeling. The fullness that I've never felt. I've said this to a few people before. The closest to this feeling is having children. So having children, that overwhelming love, compassion for your child. Well, that makes sense because we're his children, but I didn't understand any of that back in the day. But it's that overwhelming, amazing joy feeling that you have. And the weight of the world started coming off my shoulders within seconds. Seconds. It was just amazing. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. Whatever this is, which I don't know what it is. Sign me up for this. And I get to drink. I mean, why doesn't everybody drink and find God, right? That's what was going through my mind. Everybody. God says you could drink. Drink. You can drink. Don't get me wrong. You can. Me personally can't, because I can't have one. I have to have like all of them. So yeah, drink. I mean, it's in there that, it's in the Bible. People drink wine. It's fine. It was just me was an alcoholic, drunk. It was not good. So for me personally, I can't drink. I can't drink because I just can't. And nor do I want to anymore, which is also amazing. So that's another story. So that's it in a nutshell of me getting saved. It was that easy. All right, so now next story coming up is alcohol, because that was short-lived. All right, you guys.